Hey everybody. Full moon blessings. Moon blessings. What a time. Here we are on the last full moon before the election. So we have to think about that in the sense that, there's world events happening. There have been world events happening, and there's more, and this big one's coming. And we're in Aries full moon in solar Libra. So solar Libra is about right action, right? The justice, the higher good, equilibrium, all these words of order, fairness, correction, right? Those kinds of balance, of course, balance. And Aries is the opposite. It's like fire, right? It's now, me, right? We want to do it. We want to get it done. It's very self-identified, where Libra is other-identified. These are very general statements, so it's a lot more to it than that. But just to make the contrast, and so it seems really perfect timing, this full moon, for what's happening in the world right now. And the next thing that's going to happen is on November 1st, 2nd, is the new moon. So that will be a powerful time to meditate, because that'll be just before the election. And it's not to say, our election is everything, but it's kind of a big deal. World-changing things are happening right now. And some of you know, as astrologers or that study astrology a little bit, if you look at it from that perspective, it's interesting because United States is having a Pluto return. Well, that only happens every about 250 years. And we're about 250 years old, right? So when Pluto makes a return, which it would never in our own life because we don't live that long. So when it comes back to itself, right? Like on your birthday, your sun comes back to itself. When Pluto comes back to itself, it's 250-year orbit. So it doesn't happen except in things like countries, And so here we are in Pluto, which is the undoing, the unraveling, right? The taking it apart to put it back together better. It's the black dog, right? The black dog. And I will tell you that story right now, just some of you that don't know it. It's such a wonderful teaching story. And I'm so bad at telling stories, so I'm going to try. But it's like a joke, there's parts. But it's an old story, and I heard it from my friend Paul Lewin, who got it from Lazarus. And it may be older, and from some other source. Ultimately, I don't know. But the story is this. The mother of the world is weaving the world together. And she weaves and uses feathers and sticks and shells and stones and colored threads and silks and cottons and things she makes. And she weaves the world together and weaves the world together. And at her feet lies the big black dog. And this is her world. And she lives in the center of the earth. And she weaves and weaves and weaves and weaves, and every so often she has to get more supplies, so she goes away from the fire and the dog and her weaving, this beautiful tapestry of the world, and every being on it, diamonds and seashells, coins, beautiful things woven into this beautiful tapestry of the world. And then she leaves it to get more supplies. And when she comes back, she sees the black dog rolling in the tapestry, tearing up the tapestry, rolling it up and biting off pieces of it. And then she says, she exclaims, "Oh, no." And then she says, "Now," but I should say it this way, "Oh, yes." "Now I can make it even more beautiful." Right? I can make it even more beautiful. So that teaching story is about using the wound, right, for the gift. To find that the pain is actually the offering, or the change is what's needed, right? On some level, in ways that we know or we don't know. So it's hard to always say. And that's why when we meditate, we always meditate for the highest good, not what we want, but for the highest good for all concerned. And you hold that energy up, you lift it up as high as you can reach it in a sense, and you let things come into order. But it's divine order, not personal order, right? And so that's what we have the opportunity to do all the time, actually. Whenever you're holding for someone that's going through something, if you know someone that's going through a difficult time, you can hold for them, and that's how you do, not by saying, oh no, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that thing that is happening goes away somehow, because we don't know why it's there. There are reasons for things in life. It is sometimes the very thing that the tipping point, right, that allows for something else to happen that's necessary for the life of the soul, right? Not the personality might not like it, but the personality doesn't like change at all, pretty much, unless it elects it. Like, I want to jump out of the plane. So we say, oh, that'll be good. But I'm choosing that. If somebody pushes me out of the plane, I don't like that, right? So it's like, that is the difference, right? Is that the soul is holding for the highest good of us. And then when we are holding for others, we're holding for the highest good of them, not what we wish it was or what we think it should be. So as we're coming into this time with this acceleration, we've got opportunities to really help. And I'm telling you, I know this for sure. And it's like one thing that I know for sure. And there's not a lot of things that I know absolutely, but one of them is, when you meditate like that, it helps more than you have any idea. And so we think, oh, I'm just meditating and passive and I'm quiet and it's nothing. It's everything. It's part of weaving into the tapestry of the mother of the world. We're holding the highest thing that we can imagine, right, for everyone. And it's like a blessing. It's like being an angel. It's like practicing being an angel, that standing back and observation, the witness that stands and holds. So when someone asks you to pray for them or to hold with them about something, that is such a privilege, and it's no small thing. But you have to know how to do it, right? So that you don't add more fear to the condition, because that does not help. At all. And if you could really know that, you can actually assist people and countries. Just little old you, just holding that energy. And that's what those lamas do in the Himalayas. That's what meditators do for the world. We hold for humanity. We hold for the earth. We hold for the healing of the whole planet. So it's a big work. And it's a humble work, because soon as the ego gets attached to it or threads into it somehow, it undoes it. You're the black dog. We become the black dog, right? We tear up our own tapestry by identifying to it and saying, I'm helping the world, But this is, as we talk about all the time, a world service meditation. So it's about us, of course, because it includes us, but it's for a much greater thing, a bigger thing than us and all of us. And so we get to do that. And so I'm calling this full moon the birth. I'm calling it the birth. And if you think of birth, it's not a comfortable experience exactly, It might be a beautiful one and a miraculous one, but it's an intense one. Right? And so you can see we're going through the birth pains of change in our world. And it's this particular full moon in Aries, right? It comes forth, right? It's really coming forth. And I am, in my meditation, I got the word birthing. It's being born. And it's a messy little business, It's not easy, usually. Although it can be, some people have easy, but mostly it's intense. It's when my, this is not a great example, but when it is an example, when my dog had puppies, she had 9 puppies, And I was sitting in the closet with her where she chose to do her puppies, have her puppies. And it was probably 110 degrees in that room. I don't know how she got the temperature up like that, but just the intensity of her labor, right? And never did she cry, never did she anything. It was a very beautiful thing to observe, but intense heat. The heat is part of what changes. It makes the molecules move faster, right? So we're intensely watching, like midwives, like many, many millions of doulas, observing this birth. And we don't want to be the person on the side going, oh no, there's blood, or oh no, she stopped breathing for a second. We want to be calm and steady and constant and true and holding for the highest good of that mother and of that baby, right? And so if the mother is our own planet, right, and she's birthing this new shape, whatever it is, we don't even know. We can stand witness to that in that calm way and be ready for whatever, for anything, whatever it is, whatever's needed, right? Which could be a soft touch. It could be a strong word, breathe, right? It could be whatever it is, but it's in service, world service meditation, it's in service to what's happening, not in reaction to my discomfort with watching it. Right? So when you watch the news, we can get uncomfortable watching the news and it becomes painful, right? It's like, oh no, that's happening. Oh no, that's happening. And we become part of the problem, we get swept up. Meditation stands still. It stands still. The soul is in meditation deep. And we match that energy and we are in meditation deep. And so it is an opportunity to hold with the world like that. So the thing I wanted to bring into this is 2 practices for the month and all up to the election and beyond and for your life, because these are practices for anything. And one of them is simply holding the vision, like I'm talking about, holding for the highest good, no matter what you observe. Then, so I wrote down in my own notes, I wrote, in an easy and relaxed manner, right? That's a phrase I use in my meditation sometimes, in an easy and relaxed manner. So as easy and relaxed as you can be at a birth, though, right? It needs your attention. It's a focused thing. And to hold that vision no matter what you perceive or what you see or what you think, even. Keep holding that vision up. So that's one. And the other is a suggestion, if you want to, and you like ritual, and you like to have something tangible. I would suggest, like especially starting November 1st, which is All Saints' Day. Perfect, right? To just light a candle and just have it going all the time and light it and unlight it and light it, and like every day, keep lighting it. You know, you can let it burn out, you can not let it, you can just keep one going the whole time, or you can just keep relighting the candle that you've got. And what you're doing is within that candle, you're setting an intention within it. And it's basically the same one, that highest good for all. And to include the concept whenever you're holding for anything for the highest good of the soul of that being, remembering that just like you have a soul, so does the United States, so does England, so does China, so does every place so does Los Angeles, right? There's a Devic consciousness in all things, in a tree, in a mountain, in a place. There's even a horoscope, for an astrological horoscope for those things that can be known. Right? Just like I often will tell you that Los Angeles for right now is the heart chakra of the United States. You know, that's a thing, right? That's a thing. That's an activation. Just like the chakra of your own heart chakra is a thing. It's real. It's an activation. So when you do your meditation and you're thinking of, you know, this the election, just as an example, you hold for the soul of the nation. The soul of the nation on our Pluto return, right? And so when you've ever done any healing work with somebody, if you've been working with forgiveness work, let's say, with someone that's been difficult to forgive or apparently unforgivable, in whatever way they are, or yourself, right? The way you work, especially with another, though, is you work with their soul, right? Because you kind of go over their head, you go over their head. You talk to the soul of the being versus the personality of the being, because the personality is all full of whatever it was, right? And they would probably do it again if they could, the personality would. But the soul wouldn't. The soul is working with you, actually, with that being as much as you might be wanting to. So in that same way, when you're working with the United States, think of it as the soul of our nation. And that's different. And we're little points of light in this nation. So it matters how we hold it. So the more people that are afraid, the more people that are hoping for the apocalypse and all that stuff that is out there, right? The more chaotic and the more painful is that birthing. And the more that there's love and holding for the highest good, the more relaxed is that transition, that transmutation, that change that's trying to happen in the whole world, not just here. In the whole world it's happening. So we're in that place right now. I called this full moon birth, the birth, and I in my notes I wrote, it's just like another new beginning. We're having a new beginning moment here on this moon in Aries, and because it's the beginning of things. But I wrote down more like blast off. So whatever's you've been working on, whatever you've been wishing for and working on internally, internal work, external work too. This is a time to go. The energy is big and can launch a project, a friendship, an election, a book, a painting, right? It is launching energy always with Aries energy. And particularly this one, it's very difficult chart with a grand square across it. I'll show it actually. Not an easy energy. This is called a grand square. And in this grand square, we've got, the sun opposed the moon, of course, because that's the full moon. 24 Libra. Some of you that know your degrees, look where 24 Aries is in your chart, because that's where the full moon's landing. What if it was sitting on your sun, or what if it's sitting on your Venus, or then this all of a sudden gets very interesting, right? Or anywhere within even a couple of degrees of it, you'd be feeling this a lot, where this full moon energy is. But there's also right through the center of that is Mars opposed Pluto in a critical degree, 29, which is the last degree, and it's getting ready to finally change signs in November later. November 19th, I think it goes into 0 Aquarius and stays there for 20 years. Hallelujah. We're all going to be really feeling different after that happens, but it won't be till then that we do. And in a critical degree, like the closer it gets to the end, the harder it is. It gets more intense and more intense and more intense, right? So that's right where we are. It's right where we are. And this is opposing Pluto in the United States chart. So that's a whole class in its own right. Here's also Scorpio, Venus and Scorpio, also in a critical degree, opposing Uranus. So we've got Mars and Venus doing oppositions to great big outer planets, which means intensity, change, big things. These are practically violent. It's practically, it could be that. So all the more, right? So whatever's happening around with family, friends, people driving crazy, all that stuff that just when you're out there, just there's tension in the air, it's like sparky, and it is sparky right now. And people have very committed to what they think, whatever it is, right? And when you live in spiritual kind of perspective, it's, it doesn't matter what you think so much. It's that's not the purpose. It's what you can know. It's what you can envision. It's what you can create. It's very creative, right? And so you can help hold the balance. The earth is in the balance, right? You have this balancing energy. And I use that image of the girl with holding the sun and the moon, one in each hand. And I just love that image so much because it's powerful to because that's what we're doing a lot of the time, is balancing the pairs of opposites. We're balancing the duality of our earth experience. This is a dual experience here. That's what the yin and yang symbol teaches. Right? That's the old symbol, maybe one of the oldest symbols of our planet. It might be the oldest. I don't know, but I know it's really old, thousands and thousands and thousands of years old. So it's a diagram and it's a teaching about this world. So we can hold the balance. So my practices were to stay present, to stay present. Number one, the biggest gift you can give anyone about anything, no matter what's happening, is your presence, is your focused attention, your compassionate, focused attention. I see you, I hear you, right? Gold, beyond gold. It is the highest thing you can offer. Even people that are on opposite sides and all of that active presence. So you can hear anything from there, right? And you can support, and you can even help as it's asked from us in different ways. And it is being asked all the time. So presence, holding the vision, holding it up, and then if you want to, if you like the physical activity, light a candle. I do that all the time with all kinds of situations when I'm working on something or I'm holding for someone. I put their name on it, and that candle holds the energy of their well-being, or the United States well-being, or the Earth's well-being. So you can make it as big intention or specific intention as you like. There's a lot to say here, but I don't want to turn this into a class. So those are the thoughts for the month. And we're going to do a meditation now. I just want to mention here too, so I'm going to do a new moon, on the new moon, I'm doing a meditation class, which you're welcome to come to, and it's a time to come. If you're going to do one, that's a good one to come to. And the next full moon is on November 14th. I have to look at my notes. November 14th. The next meditation class is November 1st, which is a Friday. So I'm going to do that. But the other thing I wanted to mention, I'm going to do a solstice review. And I'm going to do that, I think, December 7th. It's a Saturday. And that's going to be actually a live event. I might open it to Zoom, and so you could be connected to that live event. If you're not here, you could join it from Zoom. But it's actually going to be here in my studio. So think about that for December 7th. So let me know about that and if you can come, because I'd sure love it if you did. That'll be a smaller group. We're going to work with our solstice words, which is coming up to winter solstice is when we do that. So we're going to keep track and see where we are with the word or phrase that we got at the winter solstice, and then work with it and see where we are and what it meant and what it's maybe still unfolding for you. So let me know about that. Okay, so now we're going to do a meditation. So I'm going to light my candle. Again, this is like, sometimes it's nice to have something physical that just holds and grounds. You don't have to. And you can use my candle as if it's yours. And energetically, the idea is to light a candle, in a sense, inside yourself. This is a symbol of that, right? But it's not a candle inside yourself, it's light. It's just light. And so you sense that inner light by either literal light that holds it and reminds you that that's what you're doing. And then you start to sense that inner light. A lot of people meditate with their eyes open. A lot of practices are designed to be done with your eyes open, to call it gazing, right? And you can do that with light or a candle or a geometric symbol, right? You can look at a 12-pointed star or anything that kind of appeals to you for some reason or another. I love the 6-pointed star because it has 2 shapes in it, which are based on triangles, right? So you've got these 2, triangle, right? And then you've got this opposite, another triangle. This is a super powerful symbol, which you recognize, right? But that's the symbol, that's literally the symbol of as above, so below. And if you notice, right, the pointing up part of the triangle and the pointing down part of the triangle, right? It goes up and then it goes down. And so those 2 points meet at the third eye. You can imagine that energy even in your body as if you're the triangle. And you can feel that energy that's downflowing coming into your triangle. And that becomes a sacred geometry that you can actually meditate on as an experience. You can meditate on the yin and yang symbol. You can meditate on the Vesica Piscis, right? Anything actually. A rose, right? A flower. Your heart. A chakra. So when you're ready to, here we go. Close your eyes. And just feel yourself come into the space. Letting your breath even out. And to let all these ideas that I just presented just melt into the all that is. So you're not attaching to even an idea, but to let yourself move into that energetic space of pure peace. And you let yourself breathe peace in and breathe peace out. And by breathing in peace and breathing out peace, just as an example of a practice, right? You are organizing your consciousness, your physical consciousness, your emotional consciousness, your mental consciousness. We talked about this last class. All the bodies, the astral body, the etheric body, the monadic body, the Buddhic body, and the monadic body, all those bodies are being harmonized by the concept, in this case, as we begin, of peace in, peace out. Breathing in peace, breathing out peace. And you're using this beautiful blue peace. See it as blue, very electric blue, with white and light. Breathing in peace, breathing out peace. Feeling yourself come more and more into the moment and connecting heart to heart with everyone in this group. All these beautiful souls, all these kindred hearts, that if we met each other, even if we've never met each other, we would immediately recognize each other. Because it's frequency, see? Everything's energy. Everything's energy. And as we harmonize to the light of blue, peace, your whole body, mind, and heart begin to pulse and radiate eventually this blue light of peace beyond yourself in waves of blue and violet out into the world. And you can aim that in a way by your awareness. If you think of a place and you think of some place in the world and let that blue light go to that place, there's a healing there. There's a blessing in that. And you can just let it go in every direction, 360 around you, to your neighborhood, to your world, to the world. Inhaling peace, exhaling peace. So the idea I want to bring into this meditation today is the idea of standing witness and being ready. Not because anything's wrong, just being ready for anything. That you are in your center, that you are in your calm. So that as needed, if you're needed, you're there. You bring water, right? You give a glass of water. You give a kind touch. Your eyes are soft to a situation. Kind eyes. Right? So there's this nurturing and appreciation of these inner subtle qualities that are invisible. They're not things, but they are energies. And they create. All of it creates. Inhaling blue. Exhaling blue. Inhaling blue. Exhaling blue. So I want you to think now as witness, standing in pure consciousness now, your soul, being aware of your own soul, and that pure consciousness of the soul. And I want you to see that for right now as SENTRY angel. SENTRY angel. Like a pillar of pure light. It's stoic. There's not expression necessarily. It's neutral. It's seen whole civilizations come and go. Right? Old, old, old. And you find that knowing of your own SENTRY angel. And you could also say guardian angel. Right? But I want you to sense that SENTRY angel that stands as witness for the highest good. And feel yourself building this inside yourself as a place that you can refer to, that is strong, that is unbendable, that is pure light, that is pure consciousness, that is divine. And feeling that energy in you now. And we stand as SENTRY angels, right? With many others, thousands and thousands of others, conscious souls on this planet that can hold like this for the highest good. To stand present. So you could be right in standing in front of someone that was fighting loud, angry words, and you could find that place in yourself that holds for the highest good, even with this situation that you're observing, right? Soul to soul, the soul of those beings, like the soul of our nation, like the soul of this earth. Holding for. And when you're there, I'm going to take us into the meditation now deep. And we're going to use our count in. That's my new favorite way to do meditations. This came to me in a meditation and I just love the depth. So ready? Here we go. Star. Sky, earth, ocean, land, mountain, tree, all beings, self, soul, Om. Deeper still, star, sky, earth, ocean, land, mountain, tree, all beings, self, soul, Om. I stand as witness in sacred consciousness to the well-being of our planet and all beings on it. And I am part of the peace and part of the light. And I am happy to weave the world together again, to make it even more beautiful. Witness, calling upon that part of you that is ancient, that has lived 1,000 lifetimes. Witness in pure presence now. Deeper still, star, soul, Om. And as old as this awareness is, ancient wisdom, sense how it is directly connected to what will be in 1,000 years from now. The brand new, the new light. That they're the same in a way. The old and the new. Remembering yourself. Remembering yourself from 1,000 lifetimes. In this now. Feel how old you are. As old as the stars. And from this point of view, look out onto our earth, blue earth. And just send that blue light of peace to the whole planet. So it's like you are an angel. No agenda. Divine design. There's a phrase, right? Divine design. And with this silent Om, just letting that blue, white light radiate from your head, from your fingers, from your feet, in a circle around you in every direction, pulsating with blue, violet, white light. And as you do so, feel your whole body vibrating to it, with it, receiving it yourself, receiving it yourself. And let it land into your self like snow, melting into your body, being, and onto the planet in that same way of light, being received by the earth, by all beings, including yourself. Om. This new you. This new you. Energy's being upgraded a lot these days. Going faster, faster, faster. And the way you can receive that, ironically, is to go slower, slower, slower. No resistance. No resistance, just receptivity. That you are the blue, you are the peace. You are the vision. Until it starts to feel natural to begin to transition out of this meditation when you're ready to. Taking your time. Good. It's powerful meditating in a group. Even oddly, and maybe even more on Zoom. Like who would think? But you can feel it. This kaleidoscope of energy, of the colors of all of us. It's very big energy, and it really helps the world service meditation that we're doing. So this will be up tomorrow on YouTube, so you can watch it again or send it to a friend. Please like them and thing. I hate saying all that, but you know that stuff that they say, do that because it helps other people see it. Like it, make a comment, anything like that, share it. And it'll also be up on SoundCloud for just the audio only of the meditation. And you can watch that, hear that, listen to that. So YouTube has audio visual, and SoundCloud is just audio. And I do this all as a gift of service. It is my honor, and I am honored that you are all here too. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for adding your note, like beautiful peacock's feathers. We're all part of this together, and every one of us is important right now and always is. Each one of us is sacred. Every one of us is sacred. Every one of us, all us's. So no matter how they might be acting, so that's hard to imagine sometimes, but it's still true from the big perspective, right? So thank you for being here, and I'll see you on the next full moon, which will be November 14th. The next meditation class will be November 1st. I'll see you there. Thank you.